Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine, Women, and Words. I'm Michelle, and with me, of course, is Diana.
Hello.
And this evening, we do have a special guest. We have author Sean Patrick Traver joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Sean.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. And we are airing on a special night. I keep thinking that tomorrow is Friday, and I have my Friday to-do list mentally going in my head, but it is Tuesday. So just everyone remember that when you wake up tomorrow morning.
We're playing a cruel joke on you. You're going to think that it's Thursday by listening to us right now, and you're going to be like, yes, tomorrow's Friday, but no, tomorrow's really just Wednesday, midweek. You're welcome.
So Sean is the author of Red Witch. Diana, you have to hold up the copy. Thank you.
Yes, the beautiful cover here. For those of you who are only listening, you're missing out, so go look it up. It is a lovely cover. I'm assuming you had an illustrator do this, Sean?
I did, yeah. I got really lucky with the cover. She's an artist living in Spain. It's all done in Photoshop. The model and the skeleton are real. We took a picture of a model with a plastic skeleton and sent that to her, and she built everything else up in Photoshop.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah, CassiopeiaArt.com is her website, and she does incredible work.
Good to know.
I want the art style, and I think she really nailed it. I'm really happy with what she did.
She did. She really did, because it's a really intriguing cover.
Yeah, it was hard to find somebody who could do that particular style.
And did you already, since we're just talking about cover art, did you have an idea in mind, or did that kind of evolve as you were?
I definitely always had that idea in mind. I wanted kind of an Art Deco theme, Art Nouveau theme. Yeah, it's more Art Nouveau. That's it. Yeah, that early turn of the 20th century kind of vibe. Yeah, that's definitely what I wanted.
Yeah, because the book takes place in 1910, so right at the beginning of the golden film era.
Exactly.
Or not really. I suppose not golden film era, because it's in golden film era in 1930.
The film era in Los Angeles. Yeah, very early days.
Yeah, when Hollywood was just beginning, and when Los Angeles was becoming a thing, just as they were moving the film industry from New Jersey to LA. And LA was forever changed. Could you imagine if we still had Hollywood in New Jersey?
It was all a matter of the weather. They discovered that the weather was perfect out here, and started moving productions out here.
Exactly. Yeah, the weather brings everybody out here.
Yeah, since there is still snow on the ground in Chicago right now, and we're expecting more snow tomorrow.
Talking about this earlier in the day, the last time I saw snow was about 1990.
Oh wow.
Last winter was super mild. We had snow maybe a week total for the winter, and this year it's like, we're never leaving. It's awful.
Yeah, we had a couple days of rain out here this year. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they come from hard. Yeah, for in my neck of the woods, it was a pretty mild winter this year.
Yeah, it was so hard for me. I mean, I have these great boots. I can't even wear them. None of my sweaters are getting worn, and none of the stores are selling summer clothes.
If it gets down below 70 degrees, I break out wool coats and things, and yeah.
Whether or not we need it, we wear it.
I'm for cold weather. Yeah, I never experience it. It's exotic and strange to me, and I love it.
Well, it was 35 degrees out today, so.
Yeah, that's mind blowing to me. Yeah. Conditions. Yeah.
How do you live like that, Michelle?
Layers. But going back to, your book is centered around the silent film era in 1910. So Aztec mythology and silent films are pretty much like at the complete opposite ends of the imagination spectrum. So where did you get your inspiration for your story?
They're very vaguely geographically united. They're two things that can sort of be applied to the geography. It's my interpretation of the Aztec mythology is that the mythical Aztec homeland of Aztlan was located somewhere to the northwest of present-day Mexico. So I thought maybe it could be in this area, possibly. something that contributed to that mythology could have occurred in this area. And the silent films obviously happened in this area. So yeah, I'm just casting back into LA history to try to connect these things.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's not impossible.
Which is, I mean, like to say about anything for Hollywood. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's not impossible.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a possible connection. So we'll build on that.
Exactly.
And when Ingrid comes to Los Angeles, she's looking for the mythical, the hole in the sky. And is that based on actual mythology, or is that your reconstruction of Aztec mythology? It's Aztec history and mythology is really fascinating, and I get so intimidating by their names. That
the names are incredible. Yeah, I love long. Yeah, the names are a wonderful thing. But that is mostly my own invention. The hole in the sky is based on the name of a store that's in Pismo Beach. That just inspired me. But the tree is actually based on a real tree that was here in Los Angeles. It used to be the gathering place for the local tribes for centuries. And during the 19th and 20th centuries, there was a brewery and a winery located on the same property, and they used the tree's branches for shade to shade the barrels. And today the freeway runs through there. So, but the idea of a monumental tree is based on something real.
Okay. Well, it's I really don't know much about Aztec mythology, but it's such a rich culture, and the stories are so interwoven and they're so interesting. But I think this is probably the first time I've come across it in historical fiction. It's really, really interesting to see it come to life a little bit for me.
I had hoped it would be something different and unusual and interesting. And Mictlantecuhtli is definitely the Aztec god of the dead, and Mictlan is his realm. So that's all based on real Aztec mythology.
So how do we pronounce his name again?
Mictlantecuhtli. And my pronunciation is far from perfect. It's but that's very.
So this my co-host likes to join me. So I can understand why she calls him Mickey. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. You get the right away. Yeah, you need to shorten that right away.
Like, we're gonna give you a nickname because
it's a mouthful. Yeah.
Except for when she's mad at him.
Yeah. I like long. I have a thing for long names. If you're a Doctor Who fan, I like names that only David Tennant could prounce.
Yes, thank you. Love Doctor Who. Love the Doctor Who reference. And I was just thinking in my head, he nicknamed him Mickey. Mm-hmm. There's not much of a stretch there to go from Mickey to Mickey Mouse. And Mouse being, just Mickey, because I'm not even going to try it again, in the form of a mouse. Because, I'm not bitter about Disney or anything.
Landon heard Mickey Mouse, and he's going, Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse, yeah. No,
yes, he's secretly the god of the dead, of the underworld.
Yes. We're all teaching our children to worship the god of the underworld. It's a really fun and sickly, twisted game.
Yeah.
Never will you look at Mickey Mouse again the same way.
Exactly.
So, and then also, in the story, I haven't read the book, unfortunately. I don't like saying that. But in the synopsis, I saw that Ingrid starts kind of doing a tour of who's who in the undead world, and or in the underworld. And so we all kind of have those, fantasy dinner parties. Like, I would definitely have Frank Sinatra come to my fantasy dinner party if I could. Were the people that Ingrid was meeting kind of your fantasy dinner party?
To some degree, yeah, and to some degree, they just happened to pop up in my imagination at the moment I was writing. Walt Whitman is one of the first people that Ingrid meets, and that was largely because of the Ken Burns documentary about Walt Whitman. There was a bit about his experiences during the Civil War, nursing wounded soldiers back to health. Basically, he was a volunteer care of wounded soldiers when there was nobody else to do it. People who were far away from home. It was really very hard. I wanted Ingrid to do right by Uncle Walt, kind of. She had a chance to kind of to help him out in his afterlife, and I kind of felt good about that. So and so did Ingrid. So that's kind of where that came from.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, you've also got Alfred. I mean, there's Alfred Hitchcock on here, Dorothy Parker, Califia, the pre-Columbian Queen of California.
She visits them. The Queen of California. The name California actually comes from Calafia, who was the subject of an early Spanish novel that depicted a race of Amazons who ruled the island of California. And it was the conquistadors carried this book with them when they came looking for California. It was part of the mythology that inspired Europeans to come looking for this place. So wow. It has a long history. Yeah.
There's so much of California's history that you've incorporated into this book. What was your research process like? Was this just a collection of things that you got interested in, or did you just dive down a rabbit hole of research?
A little bit of both. To some degree, it's things that I've been interested in for a long time. And as I started researching those specific things, the rabbit holes opened up, and it was possible to keep going down because California buries its history so quickly. It's, when you start peeling back those layers, it gets really interesting because there is history here. You just have to dig for it a bit. We bury it under strip malls as quick as we can, but it's still here.
It's true, and I think that's also part of the lore of California too. I think we've talked about this before. Not necessarily you and I, Sean, but Michelle and I have on the show, where part of the California history is the fact that we just keep on reinventing ourselves.
Exactly.
It could be part of the Hollywood influence, but it's always been a place where people show up and they be exactly who they want to be, and then they are who they want to be, and that kind of lends to the air of what California is. I mean, yesterday you could be a janky little bar. Tomorrow you could be some high-end, ritzy hipster place. You never know. The world's your oyster.
I think that it's successive waves of people coming to remake it in their own image that buries the history so quickly. Yeah, we don't intentionally do it. A lot of people would like to hang on to the history, but it's hard because there are so many people who want to make this place into something of their own.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and I mean everybody who has lived here or currently lives here, we feel a very much an ownership to the state, where this is our thing, our state.
People come here to make it come true, and that takes a different form, for every new visitor. So it's hard to hold on to anything when there's that much reimagining going on.
Exactly. I mean, I was that 17-year-old girl who showed up to California with nothing but a guitar and a suitcase, and was like, okay, I'm going to be somebody. And here I am 20 years later going, okay, I'm going to be somebody. But we get to keep reinventing ourselves. We're not stuck. Yeah. So you mentioned those were your dinner party guests, Sean. I'm assuming those are all your dinner party people. Michelle, who are your dinner party people?
Frank Sinatra, L. Frank Baum, Gordon Ramsay, as long as I don't have to cook for him.
Gordon Ramsay. Okay, we're doing live and dead. Okay.
I mix them up.
Okay. Good to know.
And let's see, who else? Anne Boleyn. Just because she would probably have really great stories and really keep the conversation going. And oh gosh, so many obsessions.
Unless she could keep her head. I had to throw that joke in there.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses. We're here all week. And I don't know who else. So many people. Way too many people.
L. Frank Baum is a small part in the book. Ingrid attends the premiere of The Wizard of Oz in Hollywood in 1939.
Ooh, my God. I mean,
Baum lived in that neighborhood. He lived not far from where the famous Chinese theater is today.
Ooh.
Back at the turn of the century, children used to show up at his gate, and he'd invite them in for tea and tell them stories. And back when that wasn't creepy, but he lived.
How crazy!
Awesome.
There were in 1908. There was an early. It was a partial film and partial stage adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. It was called The Fairy Log and Radio Plays. It was there was an artist named Michelle Radio. That's where didn't have anything to do with radio as we know it. But it was an early film adaptation of Wizard of Oz, and that also plays a small part in Red Witch. Ingrid was an understudy for one of the roles. Yeah.
So much history. And I mean, it's like, that's one of the things.
So there's some interesting Frank Baum history involved in there.
Yes. History and just history of Hollywood in and of itself is entertaining. And, you know, getting the other side of California history is even more entertaining, interesting too.
And I really like that you decided that you set your story in the silent film era, because the golden year age of Hollywood, you know, everyone knows about, but I feel like the silent film era is kind of a forgotten period of Hollywood's history.
Exactly. Yeah, my characters are very early in the history of film in Los Angeles. The very first filmmakers to come here. Francis Boggs was his name. He was also the first celebrity murder in Los Angeles. He was killed in 1911, and it figures into the plot of the book. But as part of the Selig Polyscope Company, he was sent out here in 1908 to shoot the very first fictional film ever shot in Los Angeles. And the studio that Selig Polyscope established in what's today Glendale later became the Mack Sennett Studios, which was famous for all kinds of films.
So you really just kind of took all of California and wove it together into one storyline.
I did try to. Yeah, it's my home. It's where I've grown up, and so this whole catalog of things that I've been interested in my entire life kind of come together in this book.
That's awesome. And why did you decide to do the silent film era? Is that a time period that's always fascinated you?
It is in part, yeah. 100 years ago seems like has always been just an interesting idea to me. Yeah, 100 years in the future or 100 years behind. It's kind of fascinating to me, and it's amazing how so many of our contemporary concerns would have been absolutely familiar to people 100 years ago. Some of the headlines in the papers are exactly the same as they are today. They were people facing enormous technological changes and cultural changes, and they weren't sure what was going on or where they would wind up. And I think we have a lot in common with them.
Oh, absolutely. I've one of my kind of big nerd things to do is to dig through the archives of newspaper archives. I just discovered that the Chicago Tribune has its entire archive online, so I could just pick a date, a random date, and read news articles. So, like, major nerd moment for me. I was reading like all these articles about Al Capone when he was getting arrested, and during, you know, even before he got arrested, about the St. Valentine's Day massacre, and, you know, actual news articles that were written during the time. So that was like
actual articles were written in the moment at the time. That's incredible to read that immediate coverage. Yeah, and get a sense of what people were thinking about it as it was happening.
Right, and then there was the reporter in me going, I can't believe that editor let them write that in the newspaper. But, so that just goes to show how times have changed as well for different professions. Yeah. So, and here on Wine, Women, and Words, we've recently adopted a game that we have borrowed from another podcast show that Diana did recently. And it's called, I don't really know if it has a name, but I've been calling it Past, Present, Future. I don't really know if it has a past, present, future. Oh. Sorry, Diane is having some problems, and I can hear her feedback.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the connection.
So, there we go. So it's called Past, well, I've been calling it Past, Present, Future. And it's just 3 questions, one for your past, one for your present, one for your future, about writing and reading and all that nonsense. So what book have you recently read that you just haven't been able to put down at all?
I'm sorry, I actually missed the entire question. The connection broke up.
So, what book have you read recently that you just haven't been able to put down?
Actually, I'm reading a new translation, Odyssey. It's a new translation by Emily Wilson. It's the first time the Odyssey has been translated into English by a woman in
Oh, really?
centuries, and it's incredible. I'm really in a new light on this very familiar story.
That's awesome. I had no idea that it had been retranslated.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a very stripped down kind of style. It's apparently the first time it matches the same number of lines as the Greek original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm quite a bit. Yeah.
And I know, you're going to be at the Festival of Books this weekend in Los Angeles, right? So and I guess that kind of counts as present, right? It's this weekend, technically the future, but we'll call it the present. Are there any authors that you're just totally going to be on the lookout for that you want to track down and meet?
Yeah, there is actually Jason Louv is an occult author who's written a 500-page history about John Dee and the system of Nokian magic, which is something that I find really fascinating. So he will be there, and I'm forward to seeing.
I'm so jealous. I've always wanted to go to the Festival of Books, and I never did when I lived there. And now that
really great.
we're such a huge, part of it. No, not us, but that's like our Mecca, and I'm not there to go to it.
Yeah. It's a really great event, and I enjoyed it when it was at UCLA, but I like it even better now that they have it at USC. USC is nice and flat. UCLA has it really tires you out to walk around UCLA's campus for a day. USC is much easier.
I'm so jealous. Now Diana's going to be doing some live podcasting, so I'm just going to stalk everyone virtually from a distance.
Nice.
And for the future, do you have any projects that you're working on or that you plan to start?
I do. I have a couple things in the works. I'm working on a sci-fi novel. I've got a novel about wine, ultimately, that I'm doing the very early stages of research on. And I just recently found a publisher for my next novel. We're going to put out a series of novellas starting this June. So that's going to be coming from Omnium Gatherum Publications, and I'm really excited about that.
Wow, you have a lot going on. That's awesome. Well, I know we are.
Yeah, it's nice to have some things going on.
Yeah, seriously, it's better than having nothing going on. Well, I know we are
exactly. Yeah, it's much preferable.
Right. We are approaching our half hour, so this is usually when we'll transition over to our book of the month. But thank you so much for joining us, Sean. It was so much fun talking to you.
Absolutely, it was fun talking to you as well. I was really good.
Definitely, and next year, if I can make it out for the Festival of Books, I'll have to come and say hello.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd love to see you there.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for making the time for us.
Cool. Yeah, anytime.
Diana, you have returned.
I have. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
I cannot see you at all, so I guess we're going to have to try this without video, I suppose.
Well, we can see you, so that's all that matters.
See me.
Yes.
Okay.
You just can't see the weird faces I'm making at you now.
Yeah, I've got nothing but a green screen here, so apparently you're supposed to be this sci-fi person. So this is weird and interesting, but we'll roll with it.
Void.
Yeah. Dude, and I don't know what's going on. This is a brand new computer. Like, literally, it is not even a week old yet. And my camera should be working just fine. Oh, the joys of operating with a new system.
Well,
so times.
we have Landon watching videos on TV. Rich was playing his computer game on the computer. So maybe we overloaded the Wi-Fi a little bit.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's you then, or if it's me.
No clue. It's possible. It could very well be me. Who knows?
Who knows? At some point, we will get back to. Okay, now I can see me. Okay, we'll just keep going with it. Let's just roll with it, because this is just the spice of life.
So our book of the month is The Paris Secret by Karen Swan.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you? Because I'm pretty sure I'm ahead of you, and I'm really loving that.
I hate when you're so far ahead of me. I'm about midway through chapter 6.
Okay, so I'm not that far ahead of you. I'm on chapter 8.
Okay, yeah, you're not that far ahead of me. I'm surprised I had this much time to read, because I've been planning a whole lot of fun stuff for the Wine Woman Awards family. You guys are going to have some really fun surprises coming up in the next few months. So be sure to stay tuned and keep an eye out for all of that. So how are you liking the book?
I'm like low-key obsessed with it. I mean, you know, you throw in art history and Flora, basically, if I didn't love writing and I didn't love being a journalist so much, like she has my dream job. So I'm living vicariously through her. And I also love, this is like me being a total girl for a moment, but I want her wardrobe so bad.
Right? I mean, I want her wardrobe and at least part of her life, her jet-setting life. Okay, so today I'm going to be in Paris for a while, and I'm just going to rent a place with my friend for while I'm in Paris. You know, as she just has a setup for me. And then next month I'm going to be in Miami, and I'll spend a month or two in Miami, totally for work, but that's cool. And then I'm going to hop over back to London and visit with the folks for a little bit. I mean, what a rough life.
Seriously. And then I've done a little fantasy casting. Have you done a little fantasy casting?
Not really. So I'm really curious as to who your fantasy casting is.
Okay, so for oh gosh, why can't I remember her name? Her best friend, who is Inez.
Yes.
I keep thinking of oh my gosh, technical difficulties have fried my brain. The French actress who was in Inception. Hold on. And then she was also in the movie with Brad Pitt where they were a spy.
Yes. I know exactly because she was also in Paris at Midnight.
Yes. Marion Cotillard.
Yes.
That's who I picture for Inez. And it's mainly because I can hear her voice so clearly whenever Inez talks.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Flora, I keep thinking of Blake Lively.
Oh, I like that. I think she would be good.
Because I think like she's young, you know, she still has all the energy to be able to be doing all this and living out of a suitcase in 4-star hotels.
And she's got the body type for it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I can kind of see her pulling a snobby rich brat off of a stuffed ostrich. And
yes.
Have you've reached that part, right?
No, I have.
Oh gosh.
No, I don't think I have this. I mean the ostrich part. The ostrich has come up, I think, because that's a statue within the apartment, right?
Yeah. Okay. Wait till you meet. I've met the kids of the family, and I mean, kids. I say kids. They're like in their, late 20s, and they're
they act like.
Oh my gosh, they're awful. And the girl at least is a raging something.
I was so hoping that when I was reading that part today, when they were talking about how awful they were, I was so hoping that it would be that rumored awfulness where they get that bad rap, but really they're not so bad after all. I was really hoping for that.
Well, the brother, I've only met him once. He didn't seem that bad. So he may have like kind of a bad rap thing going on, but the daughter or the sister is awful. We hate her.
Okay, good to know.
But then let's talk about like the 4 mysteries that are going on.
Yeah, so there's this stuff going on with the brother. I don't really know exactly what's going on with Flora's brother. He did something illegal. We don't know yet, and it's starting to drive me nuts. I don't know what it is that he did yet. We've got this mysterious Renoir painting that showed up, and we don't know what the deal is with that yet. And then we've got who was in that trunk? What was in that trunk?
And the mysterious letter that she found under the bed. Have you found the letter yet?
No, I have not found the letter yet.
Damn, I'm just spoiling things left and right for you.
This is why I hate it when you're ahead of me.
Well, I mean,
the spoilers.
Well, yeah, usually I'm the one who's like, what? But, I mean, it's that she found a letter, and it's in German, so I know what it said.
Wait. She did find the letter. We don't know what it says. That's right, I remember that. Yes, we do have a letter.
So I've read the translation, so I know what it says. But we still don't know, like, what's going on.
And who in their right mind keeps an apartment and forgets about it? Like, seriously. In an apartment in France, in Paris, no less. I don't care where you are in Paris. The fact that you forgot that you have an apartment in Paris, what is wrong with you?
Well, they didn't forget. I mean, the grandmother knew.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to shift because someone wants to sit on my lap. No, he doesn't. He just wants to run around. And then let's not forget, there was another mystery. I can't tell you yet. There's one more mystery, but you haven't hit it yet, so I'm not going to spoil that one.
There are just mysteries and secrets all over the place. I mean, it's like Karen was like, okay, I'm going to throw in all these different mysteries, and I'm just going to drive you all nuts and hope you enjoy it. I wonder if her wine glass is filled with the tears and frustration of her readers. I'll have to ask her that when she's on the show.
What are you drinking tonight? It's a lovely white blend.
I call this Tears of My Readers.
We have a late night edition.
Late night editions.
What the? It's Lily.
Lily, what the?
Yeah, he learned the phrase "what the," so he walks around going "what the, what the."
Well, at least he doesn't learn the second half of that phrase, so there's that. I have a feeling Mom says "what the" a lot.
Yeah, they haven't mastered the last word yet. Wait, 2 options for the last word, so we'll see which one they pick up. So, but yeah, there's like a million mysteries, and I'm sure. Oh, and the guy, the neighbor guy that was watching her. So.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a little voyeuristic, but dude, he's a little bit more voyeuristic.
Yeah, and he so did he know about the apartment? Because he kind of looked surprised that someone was in the window. Mm-hmm. So what's the deal there? Just it's almost mystery overload.
It almost is, which, I mean, you must be in mystery girl heaven, because thrillers and mysteries are some of your favorite things. So you've got to be loving this, every little bit of this.
Oh, I am. And I can't wait for that moment where all of a sudden when you, hold on 1 second, when you hit the unputdownable point, because the unputdownable point in this book is going to be amazing.
I'm sure it will be. I was a little frustrated because I got to a point in the story where I was like, okay, I'm really getting into it. Chapter 6 is, really interesting. You're starting to get a lot of history on it. And then I get called in for my x-ray this afternoon. So I was like, okay, time to go for that. And no more reading for me today.
Yeah, I was reading during a nap time, and I was like really totally getting into it. And then all of a sudden they woke up, and I was like, don't do that to me.
Guys, you got to be able to sleep in for nap time. You've got to learn the joys of nap time.
Right? Like, don't take naps for granted.
Oh, no. You are going to miss them when you start going in full days at school.
Oh man.
That is it for us tonight. Join us join us on Saturday. I will be live podcasting, hopefully with a lot less technical difficulties on Saturday. And we'll see you guys then. So take care. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter. Information is on our Facebook page. We will have lots of information to give out to you. So good night, guys. Bye.
Oh my gosh, chaos. Sorry about that. Bye, guys.